Welcome. Welcome to Community of Christ with the Shenandoah congregation in San Antonio, Texas. Community of Christ is a welcoming and loving faith community. We proclaim Jesus Christ and promote communities of joy, hope, love, and peace. Please take a moment and like our video, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss anything, and comment to tell us where you are joining us from. Keep our contact details and share with us how we can minister to your needs. Find more information at www.seaofchristsa.org. If you would like to view past services, follow this link on our website. We welcome you, we acknowledge you, and we love you. Shalom.
Okay, would y'all take this stuff out and just set it up there? There you go. Let's see. We don't need that one. Okay, what are those things that you put out over there? What are they? You know? They're books. You know what kind of books they are? They're Bible. And you know what? We're going to talk this morning about what is a Bible. No, that's not a Bible. You're right. What is that? Well, I'm going to tell you. That's a big secret. Now, I'm going to tell you in just a minute what that is. And you can hold it up so everybody else can see it. We're going to talk about this morning. Now, can y'all hear me too? Okay. We're going to talk about this morning about Bibles because there's all kinds of different Bibles and they have different names. There's one Bible that's called the King James Version, and that was written when James was the king. And there's one called the Inspired Version, which is the Bible that was written by Joseph Smith in our church. And then we have Bibles like the Children's Bible. I think that one's up there too. We get a lot of our stories from the Children's Bible. Now, these Bibles are different, but they're also alike. There is a collection of stories, and they all tell about the same stories, but they just tell it in different ways and using different words. And so the Bible is a collection of books, and it's written by different people. Yes, ma'am? Perfect wisdom. Did y'all hear that? Would you come right here and say that to the adults? Tell them, come stand up right here and just talk right there so everybody can hear you.
So in the kids' Bible, there are words that kids can use, but in the adult Bible, there are words that adults can use.
Exactly. And I happen to like the kids' Bible because often it has pictures, right?
Yeah.
Well, the Bible is, like I said, it's a collection of books written by lots of people over a long period of time, about 1,000 years. So it took a long time to write that book. And the Bible is written into two parts. It's got the Old Testament and the New Testament. And the Old Testament are books that were written before Jesus was born. And these books tell of the ancient stories of ancient Israel. And there's 39 books in the Old Testament, and they're the scriptures that Jesus read. There's stories, there's songs, there's prayers, there's poems, there's things called the law, and then there's history, and there's wisdom writings and the prophets' writings. And these stories were told to everyone by word of mouth. They didn't have paper to write stuff down on. And so they just told each other the stories. And then, like, your grandmother and grandfather would tell your parents the stories. And then your parents would tell you the stories, and then you might tell your friends the stories, and that's how the stories went on. And each generation would repeat those stories. They were written in the Hebrew language, and each word was very carefully written by a man called a scribe, and he wrote them on parchment that was made out of animal skin. Now let's pick up that box right there. That box. There you go. There you go. Okay. Henry, you want to stand up and show everybody that box? Okay, Henry, let Henry show it also. Okay, y'all all see that? That's parchment paper, okay? And you put cookies on it. However, the scribes wrote their scriptures on parchment, but it wasn't paper, it was animal skin. But it didn't look exactly like that, but kind of. Now, the New Testament was written, has 27 books, and the first 4 books are called the Gospels. And the name of those Gospels are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And they describe the life and death and resurrection of Jesus. Yes, ma'am.
Why couldn't they make paper?
Well, I don't know why they couldn't. She says, why didn't they make paper? It's only made out of wood. Well, they just didn't figure out how to do it yet. But they did later.
And why they did not know how to make paper?
I can't answer that question. Does anybody know why they couldn't make paper? I don't know that question.
They weren't.
No, they just didn't think about it yet. So the scriptures in the New Testament were also told to all the people the same way.
Like, oh,
Those people what? Exactly. Those people who had those ideas weren't born yet. That's exactly why. The New Testament tells the stories, and they were written down. They were written down, and they were written down on a thing called a scroll. Now turn around, Dottie, and pick up that round thing. There we go. Pick that whole thing up. Yes, Henry. Just a minute. I'm gonna hold on to it. Henry, did you want to say something?
why are books that have stuff on it called Bible books?
Books of the Bible. Is there a reason why it's called Bible? That's just the name of the book? I don't know how that originated. I'm going to do a little research on how that word exactly originated. They're sacred writings. Okay, I guess so. Anyway, the New Testament were stories written about Jesus, and they don't tell everything about Jesus. It really were concentrated just about the first 3 years before his death. And they don't tell us everything, but they also tell stories of how the church grew, the Christian growth, and how it spread. And then there's a book called Revelation that talks about the future of Jesus. Yes, ma'am. Of what kind of Bible? I don't know. I don't know that. Okay, did you know that the Bible is not just a Christian book? A lot of Christian people think the Bible is only for them, and then it separates them from others. But that's not exactly true. Dottie, you want to turn around here and look here? Because now I want you to look at this. I want you to do this. This is the scroll which the writers wrote on the New Testament. So will you open it stand up and open it and show the people how it looks? Okay, it happened. You're right. Okay, open up the scroll and stand up and let it open. There you go. That's what the writers of the New Testament wrote on. Now, I don't think it was exactly paper either, but I'm not certain about that. But it was a scroll and it rolled up, and that was easy. Then they could take it with them if they wanted to preach the scriptures and they were somewhere else. Okay, can you roll it back up? Well, pretty good, pretty good. Anyway, the Bible is not a Christian book. It's really a book about being human. It has stories about people losing things. It has stories about being human. It has stories about somebody being mad at somebody. It tells about worry. It tells about making money. It tells how you can be happy. And it tells you how you can be happy. And it tells you about people that were sick and got well. There was a man that couldn't walk, but he later could walk. And then there was a man that couldn't see, but he later could see. Do you have a question? I just wanted you to see them. Now, I want you to look at this. This is something a little bit different. It's not a Bible, but it's a little bit different. Okay. I'm not going to open it, but do you know what this might be? That's a map. Okay, people, what are these maps? One is a map of San Antonio. One is a map of Austin. Now, I live in San Antonio most all my life, and I've been to lots of places, and so I don't need this map too often, but often, or many times, there is a place that I'm going that I don't quite know, and so I can use this, or I can just use my Google on my phone, right? The maps come in many different ways. Most of us don't use paper maps anymore. But sometimes I go to Austin and I don't live there and I don't hardly know where anything is in Austin. So I definitely need a map to tell me how to get there. Do you think sometimes you might need a map to tell you how to get there?
Yeah, well, not a map.
Not a map. Okay, this is
If
you use Google on your phone. Okay, I do too.
She's on the map on her phone.
This is a map of Israel, the country Israel. And this is where the writers of the Old and New Testament lived. And it's where Jesus lived.
And she tells us the street name.
Exactly, it does. Okay, that's what I think the Bible is like a map. It tells us how to live our lives and what to do. Okay, you want to put all these things back up? Maybe we had too many toys today. Okay, put them right in there. There you go. Put all the Bibles in. Bible means books from the Greek word. Okay, good. Thank you. I don't have to research now. The pages are gold, aren't they?
Why are they gold?
I don't know. They just wanted to make it pretty. Okay, when you get home today, I want you to see in your house if you have a Bible and where it is. Okay? You know where you have Bibles and you know where they are.
I don't.
Okay. Well, find out where they are. So sometimes you can look at them and have your parents read you a story from the Bible.
And we read a lot of Bible books at night.
Okay, give me 5. I'll take 5. There you go. Energetic story time. Let's go.